Ram 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 Hare Hare.
श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So today is Sunday. It is 30th of March. And it is the Vishnu Masa Chaitra Masa and the Sukla Paksham. So Sukla Paksham is the starting day, first day of the month. It is Pajami or Pratipat. And there are a few events in the calendar. One is the Chaitra Navaratri begins. That is the one event. And then another event is Ugadi and Gudi Padwa. And third event is the Mother's Day. Okay, so these are the three events. And apart from that, again today it is a time change. So we see there is a change even in the devotees. I think they still need to get adjusted with that. Okay, so that is the events. Okay, we shall read a few lines from each and everything. From the about the Navaratri. So Navaratri is about the Goddess Durga. So worshipping Goddess Durga in the 9 days, in the 9 forms of like the Saraswati, Lakshmi Devi, Annapurna. Likewise, in the 9 forms, devotees worship her. And she is the Durga Devi is the Srishti Siddhi Pralaya Sadhana Sikti Rekha Chaya Yasya Bhunani Vibhuti Durga Ichanurupam Apyasya Cha Chestate Sa Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So worshipping her, it will yield to the higher planetary systems. And she is the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the will of the Lord, she carries out Srishti Siddhi Pralaya Sadhana Sikti Rekha. Okay, so there are a few things, and she is the goddess of this material universe. This is also called Devi Dhama, and she is in charge of it. And it is very difficult to cross this material universe and enter into the spiritual abode of the Lord. So Devi Esha Gunamayi Mama Maya Dhrityaya Mamye Prapadyante Mayamyetam Tarantite. So one who surrenders unto Krishna, Krishna will take them out of this universe from the um, this universe is constructed with the 7 layers. Each layer is 10 times higher than the lower layer. So we cannot cross this. So for this one, Durga Devi is the in charge. When we surrender unto the Father, Supreme Father, and then He will take us back into the spiritual abode. That is about the Navaratri. It is celebrated widely in the throughout India. Okay, so that is one event, and the other event is the Ugadi or Gudi Padwa. Ugadi is the day, the first day of the new year. It is mainly Ugadi is celebrated in Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka, and with that name. And there are other names like Gudi Padwa as well. I think it belongs to Maharashtra or North India. Some um, Okay, so but that is the day the actual year begins. The sun changes its movement. Ugadi. Okay, and that is one event. And then another event is the Mother's Day is there. Mother's Day, it is mentioned that from the ISKCON.com, there are very exalted scriptural understandings in Krishna consciousness. They are not fictional, imaginary, or concocted. They are facts, and every devotee can have a privilege to understand, indeed, take part in Krishna's pastimes. Okay, we should not think that the privilege given to Mother Yashoda is not available to us. Everyone can have a similar privilege. If one loves Krishna as one's child, then one will have such privilege because the mother has the most the most Okay, there is further to read. Mother has the most love for the child. Even in this material world, there is no comparison to the mother's love. For a mother loves her child without any expectation of return. Of course, although that is generally true, this material world is so polluted that a mother sometimes thinks, my child will grow up and become a man, and when he earns money, I shall get it. Thus, there may still be some desire to get something in exchange. But while loving Krishna, there are no selfish feelings, for that love is unalloyed, free from all desires for material gain. So you should not expect anything in return. That is real love. Just like a mother is loving her child, not expecting any return, but but she still, she gives service. So that is the little sample of pure love. So this is from the Srila Prabhupada talk on Srimad Bhagavatam 1831, April 23, 1973, Los Angeles, in the room conversations. So in these occasions, and Krishna also mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, I am the mother as well. Pitahamasya Jagato Mata Dhata Pitamaha Vejjam Pavitram Omkara Ruksama Ijurevacha. So in that verse, Krishna says, I am also the mother of this universe. I am everything. Pito, father, and also Pitahamasya Jagato, Mata Dhata, Dhata, the creator, Pitamaha, I'm the great grandsire. Likewise, so he is everything. Likewise, Vedjam Pavitram Omkar Upsam Ijhrevacha. So the Lord says, I am everything. Gatit Bhatta Prabhu Sakshi Suhridaha. Likewise, Saranam, everything. The Supreme Personal. He is also mentioned as Mother. And also, apart from that, there are seven mothers we have got in the scriptural injunctions. One is the actual mother who gives the birth, another mother who nurses the child, Mother Earth, Mother Earth, Mother Cow, and then wife of a Brahmana, wife of a spiritual master, wife of a king. So these are the seven mothers we have got in the scriptures. Okay, so one has to worship the mothers. So there is mother's love is the most prominent in this world. And but Krishna is the supreme love. So that we can see. Okay, so that is about Mother's Day today. So many people in the Western countries they celebrate. Apart from that, British summer time it begins. Okay, so we shall quickly move into our daily Srimad Bhagavatam. ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय Hare Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, here Vidura is inquiring from Buddhava. And then, so after inquiring about Krishna's family, Pandu's family, now coming to Dhritarashtra, he is just only lamenting about him, about his sinful activities. And then later on, Vidura concluding that he is not bewildered because he has wandered throughout the world as in the pilgrimage, and he has seen the Lord as well and Lord's pastimes and understanding the Lord's pastimes and he wandering and then how people are bewildered by the external energy of the Lord. So now here the Vidra's position is not agitated by anything. He is not disturbed by either Dhritarashtra's activities or Pandava's activities or anyone's activities. So Vidra is situated in the Gata Vismayo Attara. So he does not have any doubts about this material world. सोऽहं हरेः मर्त्यविडम्बनेन दृशो नृणां चालयतो विधातुः नान्योपलक्ष्यः पदवीं प्रसादात् चरामि पश्यन् गतविस्मयो अत्र. By the mercy of the Lord, Padavim Prasadat, So here, Charami Paschim Gatavismayo Atra. When I am wandering on this world, so I have seen everything by the mercy of the Lord. And Lord's activities are, it is wonderful. Vidambhanena, Matya Vidambhanena. And Vidra was wandering without recognizing by his family, friends, or enemies as well. So after saying that, Vidra is inquiring. Vidra is further giving a statement that even though Duryodhana and company, they have been insulting the Pandavas, even though Krishna is always watching them. Krishna is always watching them. So one side, Krishna is giving a protection to the Pandavas, but he did not stop the inimical activities of the Kauravas. He did not stop the inimical activities of the Kauravas, the Duryodhana, Dhritarashtra and company. He was simply waiting for some moment, for some time. Likewise, Lord has tolerated the sinful activities they have done towards Krishna, towards the Pandavas, towards Draupadi. He was simply waiting for a moment. Likewise, Vidura is saying to Uddhava. Okay, we are in the Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, first chapter, and verse number 43. नूनं नृपानं त्रिमदोत्पातानं मुहुः चालयतं च मूभिः वदात् प्रपन्नार्तिजिहीषय ईशोऽपि उपै अक्षति अघं भगवान् कुरूनम् नूनं नृपानं त्रिमदोत्पादानं नूनं नृपाणां Nonam, of course, Nrupanam of the kings, three Mada Utpatanam. And so there are three Mada Utpatanam going astray out of false pride. Mada Utpatanam of going astray out of false pride. Just because of wealth or the no, education or something like that, opulence. Because of that, people are intoxicated. This is three Mada Utpatanam, going astray out of the false pride. Mahimuhu chalayatam chamubihi. Mahim is at muhuhu constantly chalayatam agitating chamubihi by the movement of the soldiers. So Krishna and Balrama has appeared to reduce the burden of the earth. Now they are waiting here. Though Mahim muhuhu chalayatam chamubihi. There are so many movements of soldiers, they are agitating the earth. It looks Mahim Muhuhu Chalitam Chamubihi Vadhat Prapannati Jiheshaya Isho Vadhat Prapannati. And from the act of killing, Prapanna is surrendered Arti Jiheshaya and willing to relieve the distress of the sufferers. Jiheshaya Isho, the Lord, who is the controller of everything. Vadat Prapannati Jiheshaya Isho Api Upaikshata. So in spite of all these things, even though the kings, they're agitating the common people in general, uh, Upaikshata, the Lord has waited, Upaikshata. And this is the main point here. Api Upaikshata Agham, offenses. He waited upon the offenses. Bhagavan Kurunam, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kurunam. The Kurus, whatever they have made these offenses, or sinful activities towards the Pandavas and towards Krishna, towards Draupadi, the Lord has simply waited in spite of their sinful activities. Likewise, Vidra is mentioning, Nunam Drupanam Tri Madhotpatanam Mahimuhu Chalitam Chamubihi Vadat Prapannati Jihisha Yesho Api Upekshitagham Bhagavan Kurunam. The translation for this verse. Despite his being the Lord and being always willing to relieve the distress of sufferers, he, Krishna, refrained from killing the Kurus, although they committed all sorts of sins, although he saw other kings constantly agitating the earth by their strong military movements carried out under the dictation of three kinds of false pride. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Can I request Meena Mataji to read the purport, please?
Hare Krishna. As declared in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord appears in the mortal world in executed his much needed mission of killing the miscreant and giving protection to the suffering faithful. In spite of that mission, Lord Krishna tolerate the insult to Draupadi by the Kurus and the injustice perpetrated against the Pandavas, as well as insult to himself. The question may be raised, why did he tolerate such injustice and insult in his presence? Why did he not justice the Kurus immediately? When Draupadi was insulted in the assembly by the Kurus by their attempt to see her naked in the presence of all, the Lord protected Draupadi by supplying an unlimited length of clothing, but he did not justice the insulting party immediately. This silence of the Lord did not mean, however, that he excused the offense of the Kurus. There are many other kings on earth who had become very proud of three kind of positions: wealth, education, and followers, and they were constantly agitated the earth by movement of military strength. The Lord was just waiting to get them together on the battlefield of Kurukshetra and kill them all at one time, just to make a shortcut in his killing mission. Godless king or heads of state, when puffed by puffed up by advancement of material wealth, education, and increase of sorry, I missed it. Sorry. Populations populations always make a when puff up the advancement of material wealth, education, and increase of populations always make a show of military strength and give trouble to the innocents. When Lord Krishna was personally present, there were many such kings all over the world, and he thus arranged for the battle of Kurukshetra in his manifestations of Vis- Visvarupa. The Lord expressed mission of killing as follow. His mission of killing as follow. I have willingly. I have. Yes, Kurukshetra is willingly descended to the earth in my capacity of in executable time decrease in order to decrease the unwanted population. I shall finish all those who have assembled here except you, the Pandava. This killing does not wait for you to take part in it. It is already arranged. All will be killed. All will be killed by me. If you want to become famous as the as the hero of the battlefield and thus enjoy the booty of war, then O, Sa- O Savasachi just become the immediate cause of this killing. This killing and thus take the credit. I have already killed all the great warriors Bhisma, Drona, Jayadratha, uh, Karna and many other great generals. Do not worry, fight the battle and be famous as a great hero. Bhagavad Gita 11.32 and 34. The Lord always wants to see his devotee as the hero of some episode which he himself performed. He wanted to see his devotee and friend Arjuna as the hero of the battle of Kurukshetra, and thus he wanted for all the miscreate of the world to assemble. That and nothing else is the explanation of his waiting. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. So here, in this purport, Prabhupada, especially the waiting, while Lord is waiting and tolerating the sinful activities of the Duryodhana, Dusyasana, Karna, and Sekuni. So their activities. That is the main thing of this purport. And Prabhupada is giving elaboration. The Lord has appeared भारावतारण्यान्ये भो नाव इवो दधौ सीदिञ्च भूरि भारेण जातो ह्यध्वभुवादितः Bhuaditaha. By the request of the Mother Earth, the Lord has appeared to reduce the burden of that. So that Lord Kunti Maharani mentions. So now here, he appears in the mortal world to execute his much needed mission of killing the miscreants and giving protection to the suffering and faithful. Paritrāණāya sadhūnam vināṣāya ca duṣkritam dharma samsthapanādhāya sambhavami yuge yuge. So in spite of that mission, Lord Krishna tolerated the insult to Draupadi by the Kurus and injustices perpetrated against the Pandavas, as well as the insult to himself. So here insults when Krishna Pandavas, even during the game of dice, they have insulted Draupadi and Pandavas as well. So he was asking Duryodhana and the company was asking Dushasana just to go and just make the Pandavas naked as well. But Pandavas, they have voluntarily taken off their clothes. Ornaments and then but they still kept themselves properly there. So that one also mentioned in the Mahabharata. uh, Before they come to them, so they have given the kept the kirita and ornaments and then just kept with they stayed there with normal clothes after that. And they have insulted the Pandavas as well. That Draupadi could not tolerate at that time by looking at the condition of the Yudhishthira. Yudhishthira is the Dharma Raja. So Draupadi was more panicked by looking at the situation of Yudhishthira. And here, Yudhishthira is again Ajata Satru. He does not have any enemies at all. But here, Krishna has tolerated that insults. And when Krishna came as a messenger, and again they tried to capture Krishna, that is another big insult. So he has tolerated all the insults. And the question may be raised here, why did he tolerate such injustices and insults in his presence? And why did he not chastise the Kurus immediately? When Draupadi was insulted in the assembly by the Kurus, by their attempt to see her naked in the presence of all, the Lord protected Draupadi by supplying unlimited length of clothing. So this is one way he protected one side, and he did not chastise the insulting party immediately. So the silence of the Lord did not mean, however, that he excused the offenses of the Kurus. That does not mean, because he is waiting. So whenever in the Karma Siddhanta, when Krishna was explaining to Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, some karmas are in the seedling stage, some are in the fructifying stage, some are just growing stage, like that. But here, the Krishna was waiting here so that all other sinful people, they will join Duryodhana and in the battle of Kurukshetra, so that in a once he can just kill all of them at once. Otherwise, if he kills Duryodhana immediately, what he does, he will be killed, or few people will be killed. What about remaining people will be left over? Again, it may be difficult to kill all the people in different times. So he wanted all of them to be assembled in the Kurukshetra battle. Just kind of a similar strategy that Lord has followed during the Jarasandha, when he was killing Jarasandha before. So the Lord has got his all divine weapons, and Krishna and Balarama, as soon as they thought, and then all of them have appeared in front of them, and then he was killing Jarasandha's soldiers for 17 times, and the 18th time, so he did not kill. And then he waited for the Rajasuya sacrifice until that point of time, and through Bhima he killed Jarasandha, and then he became Yudhishthira has got that opportunity to perform Rajasuya sacrifice, again giving the credit to Yudhishthira, and here giving credit to Arjuna, here killing everyone in the battle. Though Lord has done most of the job, he has killed everyone already. So this is a Kurukshetra battle. Okay, so there were many other kings on earth who had become very proud of these three kinds of possessions: wealth, education, and followers. This is three Mada Utpatanam. This is the three Mada Utpata. What are the three things? Wealth, education, and the followers, the people. And they were constantly agitating that by the movements of military strength. So, evam dupanam chitibhar janmanam akshauhinibihi parurutta tejasam and vidaya vairam swasno etanalam mitovadena uparato nirayudaha. After they have killed each other in the Kurukshetra battle, mitovadena among themselves. And then this evam dupanam chitibhar janmanam, they become so much of burden of earth. Akshohinibihi parivritta tejasam, they are accumulating so much of soldiers. And for what is the purpose? Protecting the country is a different thing. They wanted to go out of it and doing something else. That they becomes the burden of that, agitating that by movements of military strength. Nowadays, we also see that one country is going into doing operations on some other country, on weak country. That is not good, because it is disturbing the innocent people unnecessarily. The Lord was just waiting to get them together on the battlefield of Kurukshetra and kill them all at once, all at one time, just to make a shortcut in his killing mission. And godless kings are heads of state, when puffed up by the advancement of material wealth, education, and increase of population, always make a show of military strength and give trouble to the innocent. This is what we see here. Here, between the government, one government doesn't like another government, so they wanted to do something, accumulate some other's land or property or minerals of other country, so that they deviate different kinds of plans, and just push them behind to go and participate in the battles unnecessarily, even though it is not required for them, and then encourage them to go and fight. And in the behind, they supply the everything, and at the fine, they wanted to demand that minerals from their country so that they can dig and everything for the interest of their country. See, this is a selfish interest. Again, one person does not want to leave his position, presidential position or prime minister positions. So many innocent lives will be sacrificed in the battle. Unnecessary. There is no cause. So, and give trouble to the innocent. When Lord Krishna was personally present, there were many such kings all over the world, and he thus arranged for the battle of Kurukshetra, so that but now these soldiers will be reduced. So, in his manifestation of Vishwarupa, the Lord expressed his mission of killing as follows: I have willingly descended to the earth in the capacity of inexorable time in order to decrease the unwanted population. So here the Lord says, Kalosmi lokakshekrut pravruddho lokan samahattam iha pravruttah rute tvam na bhavishyami sarve ye avasitaha pratyayonishu pratyanikeshu yodhaha. I am the time factor. Lokosmi kalakshekrut pravruddho. I am the one who destroyer. Lokakshaya krut pravruddho, and also I am the one who pravruddha. It is the great. And then lokan samahattum iha pravruddha, and all the people who have assembled in this Kurukshetra battle, everything will be died. Lokan samahattum iha pravruddha, rute pitvam, except only you, O Pandavas. Rute pitvam, tvam, rute, except you, api, tvam, only you. Na bhavishyami sarve, no one in the future. Ye avasitaha pratyanikeshu yodhaha, and who have assembled here. Ye avasitaha, who has come to this Kurukshetra battle, everyone will be annihilated. Either soldiers from the Pandava side or soldiers from the Duryodhana side. Everything. Ye avasitaha pratyanikeshu yodhaha. And the opposite sides as well. But except only the Pandavas of those five people will be left at the end of the Kurukshetra battle. Krishna and then Krishna, Satyaki, five Pandavas, Yuyutsu from this side and opposite side, Krupacharya and then Krutavarma, Ashuddhama, those three were left. These are the only people left at the end of the Kurukshetra battle. Very few people. So that is what Lord is mentioning here. In order to decrease the unwanted population, I shall finish all those who have assembled here except you, the Pandavas. This killing does not wait for you to take part in it. It is already arranged. All will be killed by me. If you want to become famous as the hero of the battlefield and thus enjoy the booty of the war, and then, oh Savyasati, just become the immediate cause of this killing and just take the credit. So the Lord has already arranged this battle and he has killed already automatically. Everyone's life has been taken out. Just by his presence in the Bhishma Deva in his prayers, he mentions that just by the Lord's presence, he annihilated everyone's lifespan. He has reduced the lifespan of everyone. Yes, so that is one thing. And then here Arjuna is just an instrument. Krishna says, I have killed all the great warriors, Bhishma, Drona, Jayadratha, Karna, and many other great generals. Says, do not worry. So again, one point about the killing of Bhishma, Drona, after killing of even Duryodhana is also fell on the floor. His thighs were broken by Bhimasena. So when we were about to leave from that place, there was a Akashvani. It was resounded. And then that sound says, in the presence of Krishna, saying that, so here Duryodhana was in this battle was unfair. Duryodhana was killed unfairly. And likewise, Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and Bhurishrava. These five people are died in the unfair battle. And then Yudhishthira, he was contemplating. He was a bit uh, contemplating. It is killing of Bhishma and Drona Karna. It is an unfair battle, even Bhurishrava. When that sound came, and then Krishna says to them, Pandavas, do not worry about that. It is my arrangement. It is by my external energy they have been killed. Do not worry about it. Otherwise, there is no means of killing Bhishma, Drona, Karna, Bhurishrava, and Duryodhana. So Krishna says that it is by my external energy, my illusory energy. I have applied my illusory energy to kill these great warriors. Otherwise, there is no other way. After Krishna concludes that one, Pandavas were relieved from that kind of distress as well. And here, um, Krishna is saying to Arjuna, do not worry, fight the battle and be famous as a great hero. So whenever devotees are there and if they knowingly or unknowingly something is happening in the Kurukshetra battle, something may happen. Maybe they have started unfair killing of Abhimanyu. It was not a fair battle. Whoever all participated in that particular one, like the Dronacharya, Jayadratha, so they all have to fall down. So that is also unfair, tit for tat. That Krishna also mentions later on. But because Krishna is there, everything will be auspicious. तथैव चान्ये नरलोकवीर याहव कृष्ण मुखारविन्दम् याहव कृष्ण मुखारविन्दम्. So when the people uh, when they're getting died, they're looking the beautiful face of the Krishna, and then they're going to the abode of the Lord or the higher planetary systems according to their pious credits. Likewise, the Buddha mentions Tataiva Chani Naraloka Vira Yahava Krishna Mukaravindam Netre Bhivanto Nainabhiramam Padaihi Padhashtaputaha Padmapurasya. By purifying the Arjuna's arrows, all these warriors, they have Padmapurasya. They have gone to the higher abodes. That way, in the presence of Krishna, everything is auspicious. Even whatever happens like unfair means, that will also be mitigated because of Krishna's presence. That is what knowingly or unknowingly if devotees commit, because of Krishna, he will set it right into auspicious. Okay, so that he wanted to seek his devotee and friend Arjuna as the hero of the battle of Kurukshetra, and thus he waited for all the miscreants of the world to assemble, and nothing else. That is the explanation of this waiting. This is api upaikhyata agam bhagwan kurunam. He was waiting. Api upaikhyata. That is the only reason for his waiting. Likewise, Prabhupada is mentioning, but here Vidra is mentioning up to the Lord abated upon their sinful activities by Kuruna. Nunam Dipanam Trimada Utpatanam Mahimuhu Chalayatam Chamubihi Vadat Prapannadhi Jihishaya Isho Api Upekshita Agham Bhagavan Kurunam. That is from Srimad Bhagavatam. We shall move to Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. Okay, so today letter to Shri Padarji, July 21st, 1970, Los Angeles. Okay, so can I request any unallocated devotee? Can I request Saranya Mataji to read this letter, please? If available.
Hare Krishna. My dear Sri Podharji, please accept my humble obeisances. Your letter dated 7th June 1970 put me into some anxieties because you wrote in that letter that you are not keeping good health these days. I hope by this time you are feeling well and I shall be glad to hear from you favorably. Early next year, some 40 heads of my students will go to India to visit Vaishnava temples as well as performing Kirtana there. As you know, they are observing all the regulative principles, and according to our Shastra, they are Vaishnava Sadacharya. People of India as well as the priestly order should receive them properly. When they go to India, I wish to accommodate them in Lord Krishna's birth site at Mathura. I shall be glad to know if there is accommodation for such visitors. In your letter, under reply, you write to say, I am waiting for Sri Jayadayal Dalmia, who is shortly to come here. We shall put our heads together and try to find some places for lodging them. Therefore, I shall be glad to receive Hare Krishna Prabhu. Therefore, I shall be glad to receive your reply to this. Regarding the translation of International Society for Krishna Consciousness, have you made a proper substitute? Regarding the books, please excuse me. I cannot charge price from you. Please keep them in your study room. That will engladden me. Hope you are well. Your ever well wisher. Yours in the service of the Lord, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. Any reflections, Mataji, here?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. In this letter, Prabhupada was first of all raising his concern about Sri Padaji's health. Prabhupada was saying like Prabhupada was very anxious because these devotees not keeping well in terms of health. So Prabhupada was saying it's very anxious because it shows Prabhupada concerns and loves for the this person, and Prabhupada wanted to have a proper accommodation when the devotees, the Western devotees, go to the India, because in India people won't consider the Westerners as following the regulative principles. So normally they are considered to be mlechas. So and this land is considered to be like lands of mlechas because they are not, the people in the Western countries not living according to the Vedic customs. So normally they are termed as mlechas, but Prabhupada was mentioning that these devotees are uh, observing all the regulative principles and they are following and they are chanting. So they are following the proper Vaishnava Sadacharya. They are following that. So don't take them as the normal other ordinary Western people. Give them the proper reception and give them the proper accommodation in Madhura. And Prabhupada was requesting that if is it possible to accommodate them. And another person also, I think this Sri Podarji wanted to accommodate this person also. And another thing, Prabhupada was asking about the proper substitute if the translation uh, proper substitute is getting, and another thing is Prabhupada was gifting some books for these devotee, and they were asking for how much it was, and Prabhupada was giving, don't ask me prices, it is just a gift. Because these their personal relationship, they can't charge this something person, they are so personal. So, and please keep in the your study room. That will enlighten me. So that that was also Prabhupada was saying. Prabhu, yes, Prabhu. Yeah, that's all. Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, any other comments, dear devotees, you wanted to add to this letter? Okay, that is from Srila Prabhupada's letter. So it is, I think, before Krishna consciousness, Sri Padarji and Prabhupada, they are just known each other before that. So again, there were so many letters we have seen. They were communicating before, and Prabhupada has written a couple of letters explaining about the Krishna consciousness movement. Okay, so that is from Prabhupada's letter. And from the announcements point of view, so we are this coming Monday, it is the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Tuesday is our preaching practice session on Tuesday by Radha Rani Mataji. Radha Rani Mataji is the wife of Vipin Vihar Dasa Prabhuji. Okay, so that is on Tuesday, and the topic of Vaishnava etiquette. Okay, those are our upcoming events, and I will be here. I will be away from the Sangha from 4th of April onwards. I will be here until only 3rd. I'll be coming on 27th or 28th of April. Okay, so that is our upcoming events, and request dear devotees you kindly combinedly and continue the Sangha as usual, as it is now. Okay, so that is the updates from me, and one more update is we are going to have the house programs on my return. So that is I'm traveling to London on 27th, the Sunday. Uh, and Meena Mataji also showed to express that to have house program and Hemlata Mataji. So somewhere or other, we are going to have the house program on the Sunday, and any other things, any other Monday program also if possible. Meena Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
So I think if you wanted, if you're keen to have the Sangha on Sunday, Hemlata Mataji was asking in case if you wanted to host at your home on Sunday.
Yeah, so Mataji will not host two
Uh,
places.
if you are keen, Mataji is happy for you to host at your home.
Whatever, I don't mind. Like, whatever.
Yes, so just Mataji give, and Mataji may host later on after a couple of months in the June. Mataji mentioned. So just have a catch up with Mataji once. Uh,
Oh, talk to her. Yeah.
yeah, and then we'll communicate in the group.
All right, okay.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. And also maybe we can have in case in the next day also, the Monday, if it is not too much, maybe I'm happy to be there as well.
So, like you said, 5 to 8, then it will be not difficult for you to like next day walk and.
I think we should be fine. We are with the devotees, not in offices like that. With devotees means we don't feel those things. No tiredness. Okay, so just we are open it, and I'll make my arrangements to book the travel as well accordingly.
Okay, yeah, I'll talk to you about that.
Yeah, sure, Mataji. Okay, so those are the updates. And dear devotees, if you have got any other updates or you wanted to share anything on Krishna consciousness.
I just want to ask, like, yes, like, so is all this, it's like you said, like, also yesterday, Vipin Prabhuji also saying that it's all God will, that he wants to fight, and that's why Duryodhan, everybody get the mukti. So, so that is all, like, so that is not even Duryodhan's fault, isn't it? All this happen.
One side, so in that reflection, Duryodhana, when he fall on the ground, and then Yudhishthira went and then speaks to Duryodhana a couple of moral words, saying that Duryodhana, we have acquired in the battle, we have won our kingdom back, and then we have done all kinds of sinful activities. Likewise, Yudhishthira speaks a few things, but in a friendly way. At the time, Duryodhana fell on the ground, his thighs were broken, and then after saying that, Duryodhana speaks. Uh, Yudhishthira, whatever you have spoken, I know all these things. But I have done, during my rule, I have done all the charities. I have sacrificed. I have performed so many sacrifices, given charity to the Brahmanas. I ruled the kingdom very nicely. And I have enjoyed all kinds of opulences. And there is unparalleled enjoyment, opulences. So there is nothing that I have not enjoyed. And whenever he was speaking, the flowers fall on Duryodhana as well. So it doesn't matter whether he has ruled, whether he has taken kingdom uh, fairly or unfairly. That is, that if he keeps aside, Duryodhana enjoyed all kinds of things. And this one we could see in the Mahabharata. Those moments later on, that Akasavani speaks that Duryodhana was not killed properly, but Krishna says to pacify Pandavas that there is no other way. And here Bhima has killed righteously only because he has vowed that he uh, to break the tie of Duryodhana in the battle. That was his vow. So those things, if you read Mahabharata, it will make everything proper understanding. So Duryodhana, he is the representative of Kali. Even though many people like the Vyasadeva and Vidura, they are suggesting Dhritarashtra to cast away this Duryodhana, he will ruin the dynasty. But why he was protected until he grown up and until he gathered all kinds of sinful people in the Kurukshetra battle, and he allowed him to do all these activities. And Krishna was present for 125 years. And by that time, he needs to reduce much of the burden of that. So here, Duryodhana acted as the representative of the Kali. And also, uh, Kali, though he is the bad influence, in order to, in the age of, if you look at the Krita Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga, so gradually Dharma will be declined. But Lord comes and he performs pastimes that um to re-establish the Dharma. But the time in the time this property of Dharma is gradually declining, and it has to enhance the desire of the living entities so that they will come out of this entanglement. Otherwise, if Dharma is there constantly, always like Satya Yuga, people they do not want to leave this material world. They wanted to stay here and going through birth, old age, disease, and death. And if they don't feel these pains and dukkha doshanudarshanam, janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanudarshanam, then they don't want to go out of here. Such kind of things, in order to balance all these things, Lord also wanted some kind of bad company. Sisupal and Dantavakra, they are the Jaya and Vijaya. They have not done any sinful activities before. Of course, here they are acting on the will of the Lord. They are acting on the will of the Lord like a Mai Sambhramba Yoghena Nistirya Brahma Heranam Pratyeshadam Nikasha Me Kalena Alpiyasa Punaha. You will come back to my abode in due course of time. That before Jaya and Vijaya, they're coming to this earth like a Hiranyakshipu, Hiranyaksha, Ravanasura, Kumbhakarna, and Sisupala Dantavakara. The Lord says, you will come back in a short duration of time after you perform the acts, um, uh, perform pastimes and that. So likewise, the Lord says, so Sisupala Dantavakara and Ravanasura, Kumbhakarna, Hiranyakshipu, Hiranyaksha, they acted as representatives of the Lord in the capacity of opposite to the Lord. Mai Sambhramba Yogena. Sambhramba means in the way of Sambhramba Yoga, connecting to the Lord. Mai Sambhramba Yogena Nistirya Brahma Heranam. That is also yoga. Kamad Bheshad Bhayat Krodhat Yata Bhakteshware Manaha. So in such a way, so many people they have attained the Krishna says those who said, I think it is Sukadeva Goswami says, many people left, they have gone to the supreme abode of the Lord or merged into the Brahma Jyoti. Samadha Bhayadveshad Kamadveshad Bhayat Krodhat Yata Bhakteshware Manaha. So
Okay.
so likewise, many people they have attained in the presence of Krishna. They acted in the capacity of opposite to Krishna. Sambhramba yoga, that is also yoga. But devotees, they are in the Anukulyena Krishna Anuseranam, but that is the Pratikola.
Mm. So like, yeah, okay. So like, so I knew, I understand that Sisupal and all this because it's the Krishna's like Jai and Vijaya, but like Duryodhana, so they did not get any karma or anything. They just get the mukti when they have done all. But you
Yeah,
said it was Krishna's will, so that's the reason, isn't it?
Duryodhana, about the liberation of Duryodhana. So Karna, when he was killed, he was transferred back to the sun planet. When Duryodhana
Mm.
was killed, he was elevated to the heavenly planets.
So he has to come back, that means. Isn't it heavenly planet we were they come back again in earthly planet, isn't it?
So that is what we see whenever Krishna says that whoever attains this upper planet systems until Brahma, they have to come back to this material world again.
Mm.
Once their pious credits run out. Whenever this Pandavas also, Yudhishthira, he has ascended to the heaven in his own body. And at that during that time in the Pandavas Mahaprasthana, he was going, Pandavas were going on top of the hill. I think Mandarachala mountain, it seems. I don't remember what mountain it is. So there, Lord Indra's chariot came. So by the time when Pandavas are ascending there, Draupadi fell down, and then later on Sahadeva, Nakula, Arjuna, Bhima, all of their bodies fall down, and only Yudhishthira he has gone on top of that hill along with a dog accompanied him, and then Indra's chariot came there. And then before he is going into Indra's chariot, he there Matali was mentioning that you cannot uh, come with a dog onto this chariot. And then Yudhishthira says that if the dog has accompanied me all the way, and if it is not coming along with me, it is not dharma. So I cannot go alone. When Yudhishthira says, immediately that dog turned it into Yamadharmaraja and appreciates Yudhishthira that yes, you are sticking to the principles of religion. It is perfect. It is only a test at the last stages of you are on the earth. And then later on, Yamadharma Raja disappeared from there. And Yudhishthira, after boarding this chariot, going into the heavenly planets, he entered into the planets. At the time, he sees that Duryodhana is already there in the heavens. And then at the time, Indra was accompanying Yudhishthira. So Yudhishthira is seeing along with Indra that Duryodhana is in the heavenly planets. And he asks, he has done so many sinful activities towards us. How can it is possible? And I don't want to stay here. And at the time when he was going there, going a little bit of passing, some kind of the sounds coming from uh, kind of a hell, but he heard the voices. Oh, Yudhishthira, just be here. So we wanted to, when you are here, we are feeling the comfort. So likewise, he heard the sounds, but at the time he asked Indra, what is this? And then it is actually the rest of the younger brothers, the Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, and Sahadeva, and so these people. Uh, he asked that, what is this happening to me? And I am here in the heaven. Then Indra says that due to small minor things, you have to feel a little bit, but actually you are not in the you're not next to the hell, but actually it is the heaven only. You are in the all opulent. So now you go to them. Mandakini river and take bath and come out. And then he went there and then took the bath and then he came out again in a refreshing body. Now he sees that in and around him is completely the heaven, and then with his brothers in their own bodies like the Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, Sahadeva, and also Draupadi. And he sees that they're all serving Krishna. Krishna is sitting on the throne, everyone are serving him. And then later on, Narada Muni also comes and then he speaks further little bit. And then after Yudhishthira attends Krishna, and then Krishna speaks that are you ready for another challenges? Going to another planet for a tour kind of thing. So you're all my eternal companions. Likewise, the Lord says to Pandavas, are you ready for another challenge to go to another planet? It's a kind of the past time is so beautiful too. When we read Mahabharata at the end, the conclusion is so happy. Of course, the Yudhishthira, whether here Pandavas, they are the all the time companions to the Lord. But he did not mention about Duryodhana. Duryodhana is because of his sacrifices and then charities, he got such kind of enjoyment.
Okay. And it was like Dantavakra, we did not heard what he has done. Like I understand, like Sisupal and Kans, but what he was with Duryodhana.
Dantavakra is the brother of Shishpala.
His brother. Okay, so he was with the fight with Sisupal. Okay.
Shishpala and Dantavakra, they are brothers. Like
Okay.
Kumbhakarna and Ravana are brothers. Hiranyakshipu, Hiranyaksha are brothers. Shishpala and Dantavakra are the brothers.
Yeah, but what he has done, like I understand, like Sisupal, we can heard, but don't heard that much about this Dantavakra. I know even there is a brother, what he has done, I did not
Yeah, because
listen.
Shishpala was killed. Later on,
Mhm.
Dantavakra also come in challenge with Krishna, and then Krishna
Okay,
later on.
as well. Okay,
That comes later on.
okay.
And the Paundaka, the story of the Paundaka, it is fun and also happy ending.
Mhm.
He imitates that I am Krishna, so I am Vasudeva, and keeping the Shankha Chakra uh, and Gada with him, and then in his beautiful form, when Krishna comes in front of him, Krishna laughs, looking at that Poundra in the form of the Vishnu form. He is just
Oh,
making the pose, and then he laughed to all of his heart content, and then in that battle, so Krishna kill him, chop off his head, and then he gets his own form, the four-handed form, because he has been imitating that Vasudeva form, and then he goes back to the Vaikuntha.
mm. And he was saying Pandava was also falling like in his stable. So when they fall, they went to the like first heaven, and then as you said, afterwards they was with the Krishna. So how does that happen?
Their material bodies they fall on the earth.
Material one. And because they are already with the already was the Krishna's arrangement with their together, isn't it? With them.
Yes. So in the Mahabharata, in the part two, so if you see the last part is the Mahaprasthana is there. The Pandavas retire.
Mhm.
So in this Pandavas retirement, it was mentioned. So here at the end, see, this is as long as Krishna was present, he was ready to go anywhere. What was awaited upon. So here, Yudhishthira felt joy. He gazed at Krishna. Surely nothing in heaven could compare with seeing him. What then of assisting him in capacity as servant, friend, and even relative, observed in transcendental happiness? Yudhishthira could not take his gaze from Krishna. What worlds awaited him now? It did not matter as long as Krishna was present. So this is the end of Mahabharata. And also here, Um, so this is where is that one? Hmm. So Narada is speaking to Narada. Before that, he says a few other things. Narada and speaking to Yudhishthira about the past times, saying that you are all eternal companions of eternal associates of the all-powerful Lord Krishna. And thus, wherever he goes for his pastimes, you will you will also go. Indeed, for the good of all beings. Krishna is forever appearing in some world to display his human-like activities, just as you cannot be without him. He also desires to always be with you. Thus, your stay in these regions will not be for long. It has only been to show you the destinations of those whom you knew on the earth. That is the purpose. To show you the destinations of those whom you knew on the earth. Pure souls like you reside eternally with the Lord. Only by the illusory potency does it sometimes seem otherwise. Like a magician, he creates the material universe, enters it for some time, then winds it up. Narada concluded that Lord's only business was to bring all suffering souls back to their eternal positions as his loving servants. He only seemed to become involved in the affairs of the Lord, but in truth, he was always aloof. Under illusion, men become bewildered and indulge in material pleasure, imagining themselves independent enjoyers. So here, in reality, they were parts of the Supreme, dependent upon Him for everything. Actual happiness could only be found when one once again gave up his desires to be independent of God. God Himself, however, was obviously never influenced by His own illusion. His appearance in the world was to free people from the misconceptions and bring them back to Him. So that is the purpose. Here, if we look at the position of his brothers,
Mm.
so here, if we see and the previously, mm, so here the uh, here.
Please, Manpur has gone.
So this is again in the Bhima, Jina, Nakula, and Sahadeva. It is of the heaven before they going to heaven. So here, the brothers had been walking for months in their Mahaprasthana and their bodies were emaciated, weakened, and weary. They climbed with difficulty. Suddenly, as they were ascending steep mountains, Draupadi fell to the ground and gave up her life. Bhima, who was walking immediately behind Yudhishthira, said, O crusher of the enemies, although she never committed any sinful deeds, the delicate princess has fallen on the earth. Tell me why she has been obliged to drop down here. So, without stopping or looking back, Yudhishthira replied, all the married to all five of us, Panchali was always partial to Arjuna. This is why she has fallen. And
Mm.
here
Okay.
Yudhishthira gives the reasons for each and everyone's fall.
Okay. Yeah.
And leaving Sahadeva, where he lay, the four brothers. Okay, this is after they climbed a little further. Sahadeva fell and died. Bhima again asked Yudhishthira why his virtuous brother had fallen. Yudhishthira replied, gifted with knowledge, he always considered himself without compare in wisdom. For this reason, he has fallen. Next. Leaving Sahadeva where he lay, the four brothers continued upwards, still followed by the dog. Soon Nakula, overpowered by sorrow upon seeing Draupadi and Sahadeva, he dies. Himself fell, and once more Bhima asked Yudhishthira to explain. Our righteous brother was the most intelligent of men. However, he felt himself matchless in bodily beauty, and thus he has fallen. Next, Arjuna was next to fall, grief-stricken to see his brothers and Draupadi die. In sorrow, Bhima asked Yudhishthira why the ever truthful Arjuna had fallen. Just before the war, Arjuna had promised to kill all the Kauravas in a single day. For failing to keep this promise, made out of pride, he has been obliged to fall to the earth. Arjuna fall down now. Now, remaining two brothers and the dog continued their ascent. Before reaching the summit, Bhima fell. As he was lying on the ground, about to give up his life, he asked Yudhishthira what had been his fault. Yudhishthira replied, O Rukodhara, you are a great eater, and you did not consider others while eating. Thus have you fallen. Fixing his mind in yogic meditation, Yudhishthira went on alone. As he approached the summit, he heard the great sound fill the sky. He looked up and saw Indra's chariot descending toward him. Climb onto the car, onto my car, O Bharata, and I will take you to the heaven. Yudhishthira bowed to the god. I have no desire for heaven, O Sakra. Sakra is Indra. Nor can I leave my brothers and just a wife Draupadi behind. They have all fallen on this mountain. Indra assured him that he would soon see his wife and brothers in their self same bodies. But Yudhishthira was still unwilling to leave. See here this dog, he said, pointing to the animal that was ever at his heels. It was taking shelter of me and cannot be abandoned. O great God, I will only accompany you if you allow it to also come. Indra replied that there was no place in heaven for dogs. He told Yudhishthira that there would be no sin in leaving it behind, but Pandava would not agree. It is my vow that I will never abandon one who is terrified, who seeks my shelter, who is devoted, who is afflicted or weak, or who begs for life. I cannot leave this creature here. So, despite Indra's entreaties, Yudhishthira would not leave the dog. Suddenly, before Yudhishthira's eyes, the animal transformed into god of justice, Dharmaraja. Seeing his father, Yudhishthira fell to the ground in obeisance. Dharmaraja raised him up and said, O King of Kings, there are none on the earth who can display such virtue. Formerly, I examined you at the Dvaitavana, and again now, today, I have found you to be the greatest exponent of morality. What to speak of that? There is no one in heaven who equals you. Unending regions of celestial bliss await you, O King. Quickly mount Indra's car. So this is the Yam Dharmarajas. So later on, when he went to the planet, there uh, Yudhishthira meets Narada Muni also there, and then here, just to see, he is saying here. So, okay, just it is reading very nicely. So Indra commanded the celestials to take Yudhishthira to his brothers and Draupadi. They led the Pandava on a pathway from heaven. They proceeded. They were suddenly enveloped by darkness, though through the gloom, Yudhishthira could see what. So here, um, he see the Duryodhana as well, I think. Okay. So
Yeah, it's up there. Yeah,
yeah.
first bullet.
Yudhishthira asked where his brothers had gone. He had no wish to remain in heaven, being not attracted to celestial pleasures. Even on earth, he had given up his material attachments and desires for sensual enjoyment. So, preferring instead the transcendental service of the Supreme Lord Krishna, that service had given him a sublime pleasure thousands of times superior to material happiness. Yudhishthira looked with disdain at the heavenly opulences Duryodhana was enjoying. His only desire was to remain in Krishna's association along with his brothers and Draupadi. Like himself, they too were devoted to the loving service of Krishna, and he longed to be with them again. Duryodhana could keep heaven, Yudhishthira thought. Without Krishna and his servants, it would be no different than hell. So this one, what he has seen. So that is Duryodhana is enjoying that heaven. And then Indra commanded the celestials when he was proceeding here, that gloom. Yudhishthira could see wastelands covered with rotting corpses. The air was filled with the fetid smell, and flies, wasps, gnats flew about. A blazing fire bounded the region. Yudhishthira saw crows, vultures with iron beaks, and evil spirits with needle-like mouths. He saw a river of boiling water full of screaming people, and another of faces and mucus. Trees with razor-sharp leaves lined the path, which was becoming hot as Yudhishthira traveled upon it. Looking around, he saw men being tortured. Astonished by what he was seeing, Yudhishthira asked the guides, "What place is this? Why have you brought me to hell? I wish to see my brothers and Draupadi." The messengers replied, "We have brought you here at Indra's command, O Bharata. According to your own desire, if you wish to return, we will leave." Yudhishthira asked to be returned to Indra, and they turned head back. Just as he did so, he heard voices all around him. "O king, do not leave us. By your presence, we are feeling our suffering relieved. Cool breezes blow, and our minds are made peaceful by seeing you." Yudhishthira called out, "Who are you, and why do you stay here?" "I am Bhima, I am Arjuna, I am Nakula, I am Sahadeva," the voices called back. Yudhishthira heard Draupadi's name as well as that of Drishtajumna and other virtuous kings and princes who had followed him on the earth. Shocked, he said to his guides, "What perverse destiny is this, that these virtuous men are in hell? I do not believe my senses. Surely this is a hallucination. Am I asleep or awake? Have I become insane, or am I simply dreaming? O celestials, hearing the voices of my brothers and friends, I cannot leave this place. Indeed, they have asked me to stay and give them comfort. Therefore, go back to your own abode and leave me here." The celestials accompanying Yudhishthira disappeared, leaving him to his thoughts. He could not understand why his brothers were in hell. As he stood in amazement, he suddenly saw Indra and other principal gods approaching him. By their bodily radiance, the whole region was lit up. All the gruesome sights of hell disappeared and were replaced by heavenly landscapes. Yudhishthira saw that he was standing in beautiful gardens of celestial flowers and blossoming trees. A cool, gentle breeze was blowing, carrying exquisite fragrances. Indra addressed Yudhishthira, "O best of men, be peaceful. Neither you nor your brothers are in hell. Only by an act of deception have you all been shown that region. Every king and indeed every being living in the world of men will see hell, for none can perform only good deeds. Those whose piety is great will receive the fruits of their sins first and then will enjoy great happiness for a long time. Only a slight stain of sin touched you, O king, when you lied to kill Drona. For this you have seen hell as your brothers and friends. Now you may enjoy unending happiness." And Indra told Yudhishthira that by performing Rajasuya, he had earned a place in heaven equal to that of Harishchandra, the celebrated king of ancient times, who now shared the same opulence as Indra himself. Placing Yudhishthira on his chariot, Indra took him to his assembly hall. There Yudhishthira saw his brothers exactly as he had known them, shining with splendor and surrounded by celestials, the Maruts, Vasus, Ashwins, and Rudras. Draupadi was also there, appearing like the goddess Lakshmi herself. Yudhishthira was shown how all the warriors who had died at Kurukshetra had attained the heavens. Karna was residing in happiness with his father Surya. When the Kauravas had achieved auspicious lives for their performance of religious duties, leading the Pandava to a beautiful river of clear, gentle waters, Indra said, "Here flows the Ganga, known in heavens as the Mandakini. Bathe in her waters, O king, and you will acquire a shining celestial form." So Yudhishthira entered the water and emerged with a resplendent godlike form. All his grief and anxiety vanished as he came out of the water. He was honored and worshipped by the Siddhas and the Charanas. He then saw Krishna seated in Indra's palace manifesting a four-armed form of astonishing beauty and splendor. Arjuna was worshipping him. When Krishna saw Yudhishthira, he smiled and lifted a hand to bless him. And seeing Narada nearby, Yudhishthira approached him and asked him how long he and his brothers would dwell in heaven. The sage replied that by your meritorious acts, the Pandavas had earned an almost endless stay. But you brothers are eternal associates of all powerful Lord Krishna. Thus, wherever the Lord goes, for his pastimes, you will also go. Indeed, for the good of all beings, Krishna is forever appearing in some other world to display his human like activities, just as you cannot be without him. So he also desires to always be with you. Thus, your stay in these regions will not be for long. It has only been to show you the destinations of those whom you knew on earth. Pure souls like you reside eternally with the Lord. Only by his illusory potency does it sometimes seem otherwise. Like a magician, he creates magical or material universe, enters it for some time, then winds it up. Okay, so I think rest we have read. So this is the past
Mhm.
times how Yudhishthira could see his brother
Mhm.
in their own forms in the heaven.
Very nice. Yeah. Wow. Nicely understand. Yeah. Explain everything. Yeah.
So
Thank you, Prabhuji, for sharing.
you can have this one Mahabharata. It is so pleasing. It is not much philosophy there, but it will be giving if it fulfill many of the answers here.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is from Mahabharata. So instead of Ramayana, we read Mahabharata.
So it's only the Pandava is with them, isn't it? All the time, wherever God. So
Yes,
Pandavas are with them.
yeah, they are eternal associates of the Lord.
Not like a Duryodhana, and they are not like.
Duryodhana is not eternal associate of the Lord.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji.
But like Sisupal and Dantavakra, they are the associates of Lord, isn't
Yes, they are eternal associates. Yes.
it? They are Jay and Vijaya afterwards.
Yes.
Mm.
Okay, any other questions?
Mm. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
So, Prabhu, the dog, how he did the pious the things, so he went with the Yudhishthira,
So
the animal, the dog,
the Lord
not dog,
or the dog? Yes.
yes, with the Yudhishthira. So, what he has done maybe some good pious, and then he has to be with the Yudhishthira.
No, the dog. It is the Dharmaraja,
Okay, okay,
His father.
his father,
okay, Prabhu.
Yudhishthira's father. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. No, I think it's so, yeah, thank you.
This is mentioned here. Suddenly, before the animal transformed into god of justice, Dharmaraja, seeing his father, Yudhishthira fell to the ground in obeisance. Dharmaraja raised him up and said,
Okay, okay, Prabhu.
again, Dharmaraja appears twice, once to Yudhishthira, one is in the Dvaitavana before they're going into the incognito period at the time. This is Yaksha Prashnas. Dharmaraja comes and asks Yaksha Prashnas. At the time, Yudhishthira passed the test, morality test. Again, now, morality test to Yudhishthira. He passed in both instances. And then says that no one on that can equal you, something like that. No one in heaven who equals, even in heaven also. Likewise, he gives, and then he disappears from there.
It's so beautiful, Prabhu. Very nice to do understand.
Like Dharma Raja also have to take leave the like take the birth again, leave his body, like his Brahma and everybody.
Dharmaraja, he is the
Yamraj, still he has to leave the body or not?
so he is also like Brahma. He occupied in that position.
Mm.
It is a position. He is the eternal associate of the Lord itself in the Brahma Vaivarta Purana, and Brahma, Dharma, and many other associates of the Lord. They appear in the Goloka Vrindavan as well. So here, the Yamadharma Raja. So he has got the two of the personalities next to him all the time. One is the Kala Purusha, and then another one is the Mrityu. Those two are next to Yamadharma Raja. So they will both assist him in ruling this material universe.
But he was also to take the association, and that's why it's like Vidura, isn't it? He become also, he want to do the bhakti. So
Yeah.
Vidura was also Dharmaraja before.
So Dharmaraja's one of the Amsha, it is the Vidura.
One of
Because
them.
he was cursed, but it is not that Yamadharmaraja straight away comes and take birth. It is one of the Amsha. He has to go through that curse. And
Okay.
when that period, otherwise, Vidura is in the Hastinapura, and here Yamadharmaraja is speaking to Yudhishthira in the Dvaitavana. So parallelly, the personality existed. And also in one instance, Krishna went to the heaven with to give the what is that earrings of Diti Mata, Aditi Mata. Yes. At that time, Devaki and Vasudeva are on the planet, and Aditi Mata who is the mother of Indra in the heavenly planets. Devaki and Aditi, they are the same person. And here, Aditi Mata's Amsha is Devaki. Amsha and personalities.
So this Vidura is aunts of the Dharmaraja.
Then Dharmaraja. And then so he will be just going back to his original constitutional position as Yamadharmaraja.
So they it's only aunts. They will not like completely has to take birth. It's just aunts has to take the birth. Not you just like Dharmaraja is always be there, the same position of Dharmaraja.
Yes,
Or
he was a pious. For example, Indra's position, he has to,
change.
for 71 Chaturyugas, he is occupied in that position. It is a job as a Indra. His name is actually Purandara. Purandara, he has done 100 Ashwamedha yajnas. That's why he was occupying that Indra's position. Like it's a prime minister position. So if he is
So like in the
qualified,
position also change, yeah, time to time because here is mentioned about Harishchandra is becoming Indra, so his position is changing, isn't it? Indra's position.
yes, Harishchandra, he has performed Rajasuya sacrifice so that he can be elevated to the Brahma Loka as well.
Mm.
So that is there. He will by qualification. These are all material opulences, material qualifications, occupying
So
the judge. Yes.
who will do this yagna? They will get the Indra's position like that.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
actually. So Rajsuri yagna was done by Yudhishthira as well, isn't it?
Yes. So we see very few personalities. This Rajasuya sacrifice is carried out. But Ashwamedh Yajna is done by many other kings. But Rajasuya sacrifice, Harishchandra is done. Later on, Yudhishthira is done. And maybe one or two personalities in the days of yore, in the very, very long. But here, from the Atili planet, these two personalities we could see.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Did I hear you read something about Yudhishthira's penance was due to his eating habits?
Not eating habit.
Bhima.
Yudhishthira has done Rajasuya sacrifice. That one he has done. It is not that he wanted to become a king, but actually Narada, when he was traveling from all the planetary systems, he was speaking to that Harishchandra is in the Brahmaloka and Pandu was in the Yamaloka, something like that. You just asked why my father is in the Yamaloka. Then he says, and Harishchandra is in heaven, in the Brahmaloka. When he says like that, Narada, and also he says that message of Pandu as well. Pandu also spoke to Narada Muni that speak to my son the Yudhishthira that um, I am in the Yamaloka here next to the Yamadharmaraja. But so he understands what needs to be done. And here, whenever Narada come to Yudhishthira and speaks all those things, Yudhishthira asks him, "What should I do?" So Harishchandra did his Rajasuya sacrifice, so that he is in the Brahmaloka. And then Yudhishthira understands that, okay, now I understand what is the desire of my father as well. He wanted to go up upper planetary systems. And then he commits to do Rajasuya sacrifice for the sake of his father. And also Narada's desire is whenever Rajasuya sacrifice is done, he has to subdue so many kings of the world. Otherwise, it is not possible to carry out this Rajasuya sacrifice. Duryodhana could not do it. If Duryodhana wanted to do it, first he needs to defeat Yudhishthira. But Yudhishthira has defeated with his brother's assistance Arjuna, Bhima, Nakula, Sahadeva in all four directions. Everyone are subdued, and then they have given understanding that Yudhishthira is the established king, and there is no competition to him. Then only one can sit on the one can perform the Rajasuya sacrifice. He must completely conquer entire world.
So like when Durvasa given this to Indra, this garland, and then Indra has to put in the elephant. At the time there was a different Indra, like different position of Indra. Simply it's not a Harichan.
That Indra,
Or it's like also like that.
yeah, it is. One Indra's is position is 71 Chaturyugas.
Mm.
Likewise, 14 Indras will be there in the Brahmas one day.
Okay, 14. Okay.
So there are many Indras, 14 Indras in Brahma's day. During the tenure of Swayambhu Manu, at that time, Yajna, who is the grandson of Swayambhu Manu, Swayambhu Manu's uh, daughter is the Akuti. Akuti married to Ruchi Prajapati. Their son is the Yajna. And Dakshina and Yajna, they are both born as a couple to Ruchi and Akuti. At the time, Yajna was taken back by Swayambhu Manu and he later on he occupied the position of Indra.
Well, where are we reading from? I'm getting a bit confused.
I'm speaking Mataji, so I'm not reading, I'm speaking.
All right, because is this nobody's reading that you did recently?
Yeah, this is Mahabharata.
Mahabharata. Is it connected with Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam?
Yes, Mataji was asking about the Sisupal and Dantavakkara. They are eternal associates, and Duryodhana, uh, here in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Duryodhana, he has committed all the sinful activities, but though committed sinful activities, he was raised to the heavenly planets. And in the last night, Vipin Vihari Prabhuji was saying that Duryodhana also got liberated. So just in addressing to that point that Duryodhana he has got heavenly planets, but it is not permanent. whereas the
Yeah,
Pandavas are eternal associates of the Lord. And Yudhishthira has performed Rajasuya sacrifice. That is where this conversation is going
All
on.
right, okay.
Okay, so that is, hope that understands Meena Mataji.
Nicely understand. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank
Any other questions? Okay, so we are 7 minutes past 8 o'clock. I think it is the Ramayana. Maybe we may continue next week. But if you have got any questions or you wanted to share anything, either Ramayana or Mahabharata or Bhagavatam, can kindly share or ask. Sometimes Srimad Bhagavatam, it covers only wherever it is required, the Krishna's presence and all those stuffs. It will bring the consciousness of the people coming to Krishna to concentrate. मुनिभिक्षु भगुणानां सकापिते भारतमाह कृष्णः यस्मिन् ग्राम्य सुखानुवादे मतिर्गृहीतानु हरेः कथायाम् Matir Harehe Katayam. All this Mahabharata is established, and so that one's mind attracts only Krishna. That is the essence of Mahabharata. And what Krishna says, and once it focuses on Krishna, and it starts with the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita, that is the essence of it. And then further, and if Krishna speaks, what about his pastimes? Then Srimad Bhagavatam come into the picture. So likewise, gradual elevation. Srimad Bhagavatam is the cream of all the Vedas in the complete pure devotion to Krishna. Okay, so that
you.
way,
All of it by the Ved Vyasa. Great.
yeah, when it is cream, sometimes we may think that, okay, this part is not there. What is this link? And how do we understand? Then we go a little bit further down to Mahabharata, where it is a story. We understand all the stories, who is what, and what is the relation to Krishna, like that. Then we are pacified, our doubts are pacified. Gata Sandeha.
Yeah, because it is Vidura have asked this question in this Bhagavatam, and that's where you get to ask the question from there.
Yes.
All of the character, like So like how like Yudhishthira is the Dharmaraj's son. Like so I know it's Kunti has done something, but that's the reason, isn't it?
Um,
Yes, some benediction.
yes. So
Dharmaraja and Indra.
yes, so during that when they did not have any children, so in the first part, by birth of Pandava's birth. So at the time, Pandu was cursed before he begot any children in the womb of Kunti or Madri. He was cursed by a sage. And then see Pandu cursed and blessed. So during that time, uh, he was not happy, and then he was taken into kind of a attire of the sages, and then they did not enjoy like anymore like a husband and wives. And later on, but they don't have any children. So at the time, Kunti goes to Pandu and says that about the boon that she has received from the Durvasa Muni, so that how she can beget the children. And on the authority and the instruction of the Pandu, so this is Kunti. See, Kunti and Madri were torn grief by that curse. And then later on, the Kunti, she speaks to Pandu about her boons. And then Pandu says, okay, if you have got that boon, yes, now we can have our children. In such a way, this dharma, Pandu, first of all, instructs Kunti Devi, invite Dharmaraja. So if you have our children, our eldest child should be in the dharma path.
So like so Madhuri versus Mandvi. Yeah. So how would he get that children like Nakul and Sahadev?
So after Kunti Devi, once Yudhishthira is born, and then Bhimasena is born, and then before Arjuna is born, and Pandu and Kunti, they have gone through the austerities for 1 year, and then later on Arjuna is born. So three are born. Now, a woman, Kunti Devi says, okay, there, Kunti says that, oh, my dear husband, a woman can beget only 3 times, not more than that, uh, by the demigods. See, he says that
Actually, it's 4 times, isn't it?
I think she says that one, but that is here on the consent of the husband.
Okay.
Here, Pandu says that he preferred she conceive a child by uniting with the Rishi. She assured her that no sin was attached to such an act. It was his responsibility. He was commanding her as her husband, and she should not hesitate to comply with his request. The monarch tried in many ways to convince his wife Kunti. And then, on the instruction of Pandu, then she conceived the child. So here the mantras powers. One is as soon as this is one thing, Kunti already had experience of mantras power as about the Surya, that is Karna was born. And then within that one, in that sequence, the illustrious king Yudhishthira, known as Yudhishthira, this boy will be ruled the earth. Yudhishthira is born on the instruction of Pandu. She invited Yamadharmaraja, and then later on, Vayudeva. He also calls. Next one is the Bhima. So strength and power, endowed with strength and power. This child, this is the Bhimasena, Vayu's child, took his birth. This is the third thing, and then for this is their second son, whom they named Bhima. And then further about the Arjuna's birth. Bhima strength and thing is the child fall from the rock cliff, and a pile of rocky fragments. The baby landed upon large rock and had smashed it to pieces. That is child power, Bhima's prowess by birth itself. So that is, and then later on, Arjuna's power. Arjuna, this is they accept vow of standing on one leg from sunrise till sunset, taking neither food nor water. They kept their minds absorbed in meditation and prayer for 1 complete year. With an aim to please Indra. This is for the sake of birth of Arjuna. And then finally, this Arjuna is born. And so at that time, many demigods, they all appear there and bless the child, Arjuna, and glorify Arjuna. So this is again glorification. So, and then he wanted to have, Pandu was now delighted 3 matchless sons. He decided to ask Kunti to use mantra a 4th time. At the time, Kunti says that. Kunti refused. O learned man, even in times of emergency, it is never sanctioned by the scripture for a woman to have intercourse with more than 3 men. Have you forgot the ordinance? I would become debased if I again conceived by another. The king fell silent. Kunti was right. He decided not to ask for any more sons and continued to live peacefully in the forest with his 2 wives. Then one day Madri approached Pandu privately. My lord, I do not complain that you treat me less favorably than Kunti. Even though I am of a higher birth, I still have no complaint. My one grief is that you have no sons by me. Madri found her position unbearable. No princess in her line had ever gone without issue. Kunti had 3 sons. Madri had heard that Dhritarashtra's wife Gandhari had given birth to 100 sons in Hastinapura. Yet, she, the lawful wife of a great hero, was childless. She asked Pandu to request Kunti to teach her the mantra. Madri explained that she was too shy to ask her directly, since Kunti was her rival. So Pandu smiled. He felt compassion for his younger wife. Oh, Madri, I had already been considering this myself. I was reluctant to ask you because I was not sure how you might feel. Now that I know your mind, I shall certainly speak with Kunti. I do not think she will refuse. The monarch approached Kunti immediately. He told her of Madri's sorrow and asked her to be gracious to her co-wife. Pandu made it clear that he also desired more sons to secure more fully the good of his race, including that of himself and indeed Kunti. Kunti assented to her husband's request and told Madri, O gentle lady, I shall recite the mantra for your benefit. Please think of some deity from whom you desire offspring. Madri thought carefully. Most probably Kunti would allow her to use the mantra only once. If she summoned the inseparable twin Aswini gods, she would get 2 sons at once. Even as she thought of the two gods, they appeared before her, aglow with celestial splendor. Bashfully, she asked that they unite with her to conceive children, and they immediately agreed. They begot upon Madri 2 boys of incomparable beauty who were named Nakula and Sahadev. Upon their birth, the divine voice said, These virtuous and accomplished sons will transcend in energy and beauty even in their celestial fathers. So this is how those Nakula and Sahadeva between
Oh,
Kunti and Madri.
very nice. Okay. Mhm.
If you read this one, it is so pleasing to read as well because
Yeah, because I just know about this how born about like this Nakula and Sadhya from Madhuri. Okay,
yes,
thank you.
thank you, Mataji.
I know it's Aswina Kumar's sons, but yeah, I just know how it was happened.
Yes.
And how like they get 100 sons? Sorry to ask you.
Mataji.
So how they get 100 sons like Gandhari got 100 sons?
So Gandhari, actually, when she was pregnant, she has heard that Yudhishthira is born to Kunti first. Then Gandhari was bit uh, upset, and then she um,
Because then he said, "Oh, now Yudhishthira will become a king," and that's the reason he was upset.
yes, so here, okay, where is that one? Gandhari, see, in due course of time, Gandhari conceived for 2 years. She bore the embryo within her womb, becoming increasingly anxious. Then one day, news reached her that Kunti had given birth in the forest to boy effulgent as the morning sun. Out of frustration and anger at her own excessively long gestation, she struck violently at her womb. She then brought forth a hard mass of flesh that resembled an iron ball. As her nurses informed her of the stillbirth, she was afflicted by grief and thought of Vyasadeva and his boon. At once, Vyasadeva had said that Gandhari is going to give 100 sons. And now she is thinking, what about Vyasadeva and his boon? Now she gave birth to this flesh, only a lump of flesh, hard mass of flesh that resembled an iron ball. At once
Mm.
sage appeared before her and said, What have you done? Gandhari told him how she could become overwhelmed with envy and frustration when she had heard of Kunti giving birth to Yudhishthira first. With tears in her eyes, she said, I struck my womb, and this lump of flesh came out. What then was the meaning of your boon? Vyasadeva replied that his words could never prove false. He asked the servants to bring 101 pots filled with ghee. He then sprinkled cool water on the lump of flesh and It gradually divided into 101 parts, each size of thumb, and these were placed in the pots, which were then sealed and placed in concealed spot. Vyasadeva instructed that pots would be opened only after 2 more years had passed. He then departed for his lonely mountain ashram. Exactly after 2 years had lapsed, the pots were opened one by one. From the first came a child who was named Duryodhana. At the moment he was brought out of the pot, the sound of braying gases, screaming vultures was heard. Jackals howled, and the wind blew fiercely without any apparent cause. Fires sprang up all around the city and raged in all directions. This is about the Duryodhana.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here they says that uh, frightened King Dhritarashtra summoned the Brahmins Bhishma, Vidura, and other ministers, counselors. He asked the meaning of the omens. The eldest of princes is undoubtedly Yudhishthira, and he would inherit the kingdom. I do not dispute that. But will my son become the king after him? O wise ones, please tell me what is right and lawful. So this is Dhritarashtra is asking about his sons and all those stuff. But yeah, that is how these 100 sons were born.
Mm. Okay. Yeah.
And see, at the time, Vidra replied to the king, when these omens are seen at the birth of a child, it is evident that he will be exterminator of his race. Our prosperity and future depend upon his being abandoned. Do not hesitate, O king, this child must be cast away at once. Vidra has said this one during the birth of Duryodhana.
Mhm.
See? And later on, just before the Kurukshetra battle, when he was, as we are reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, he was mentioning that.
Mm.
See, that is how
Yeah.
he gives the reason as well. A family can be abandoned for the sake of village, village for the sake of city, and the world itself can be abandoned for the sake of the soul.
Just 1%, isn't it?
It's my soul.
One soul. No, like Duryodhana, I said, if you have
Yeah,
not kept Duryodhana, then this will not happen better.
yes, yes.
Because other 99 son was not like maybe followed whatever. I can because of the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Yeah, I heard you mentioned about day before yesterday.
One
Hare
second.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare
Uh,
Krishna.
your voice is
Yeah, I heard you mentioned about day before yesterday or yesterday. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Mostly your voice is not clear. It seems some.
Prabhuji.
Can you just
Not clear, Prabhuji.
mute
Hare
and
Krishna, Prabhuji.
your voice is not clear. It seems some.
Whatever now, not clear, Prabhuji.
No, we can't hear you, Mataji. Something other than
Okay. Whatever now, Prabhuji. Open my mobile, Prabhuji. Okay. I'll open my mobile, Prabhuji.
This is some problem with the mobile, it seems.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, Prabhuji. Yeah. Sorry. Prabhuji, you mentioned about day before yesterday or again yesterday. I heard Vidura left his body on
Tirtha Yatra. So is that true, Prabhuji? I don't heard about that. Then where is he left or how he can left? Uh, I want to listen that, Prabhuji.
Yes, so Vidura, he has left his body at Prabhasa Kshetra in the
Okay.
Srimad Bhagavatam in the creation. So in the 13th chapter, Dhritarashtra quits home, disciplines. Here, in the last statements, he has mentioned that hmm,
Okay. So he left his body Prayak Chhatra, yeah, Prabhuji?
Vidura left his body at Prabhasa Kshetra.
Prabhat. Okay.
Prabhas is like in Gujarat near
Yeah, where Krishna has left his body as well.
Dwarka, like near.
Same place, Prabhuji.
Yes.
So he left his body after Dhritarashtra or before, Prabhuji?
After Dhritarashtra.
Okay, so Dhritarashtra and Gandhari, they left his body in fire in jungle. Is this true, Prabhuji?
It is not in the jungle. So here, if we see, the Narada Muni explains that. So they go to the forest in the northern direction from the Hastinapura. They go, they travel for a few days, and
Yeah.
then they will go to an ashrama, and there Dhritarashtra he engages in. So here it is mentioned. This is called the Sapta Shrota. So here Narada Muni says to Yudhishthira, O king, your uncle Dhritarashtra, his brother Vidura, and his wife Gandhari have gone to the southern side of the Himalaya mountains, where there are shelters of the great sages. The place is called the Saptashrota, because there are the waters of the sacred Ganges were divided into 7 branches. This was done for the satisfaction of the 7 great rishis. On the banks, Satyashrota, Dhritarashtra is now engaged in beginning Ashtanga Yoga by bathing 3 times daily in the morning, noon, and evening, by performing the Agnihotra sacrifice with fire and by drinking only water. This helps one control the mind and the senses and frees one completely from thoughts of familial affections. One who has controlled the sitting postures, the yogic asanas, the breathing process can turn the senses toward the absolute personality of Godhead and thus become immune to the contaminations of the modes of material nature, namely mundane goodness, passion, and ignorance. Dhritarashtra will have to amalgamate his pure identity with intelligence and then merge into the Supreme Being with knowledge of his qualitative oneness as a living entity with the Supreme Brahman. Being freed from the blocked sky, he will have to rise to the spiritual sky. So this is the process. And he will have to suspend all the actions of senses, even from the outside, and will have to be impervious to interactions of senses, which are influenced by the modes of material nature after renouncing all material duties. He must become immovably established beyond all sources of hindrances on the path. O king, Dhritarashtra will quit his body most probably on the 5th day from today, and his body will turn to ashes. While outside observing her husband, Gandhari will also burn in the fire of mystic power along with his thatched cottage. His chaste wife will enter the fire with rapt attention. Vidura, being affected with the delight and grief, will then leave that place of sacred pilgrimage. So this Narada Muni says to Yudhishthira all these things, how Dhritarashtra leaves his body. From once he leaves the Hastinapura within 5 days, he says, most probably on the 5th day from today. And then he was drinking only water and following the Ashtanga process. And then he brings out. So it is also amazing how Dhritarashtra could. So by the time he might have been properly trained, that how to perform the yoga, Ashtanga yoga, those things. So he was able to achieve within 5 days from today.
Yeah, so within 5 days he left his body from leaving Hastinapur.
Yes,
Okay.
he was taking only water as the food. He was not eating food and only the water. And 3 times bath, morning, afternoon, and evening. But if we see the Arjuna and Dhruv Maharaj, first of all, in the first month, he was eating food every 3 days once. And then that is the small fruits. And then later on in the second month, he was eating the leaves. Third month, he was drinking the water like that. But here, Dhritarashtra, he was taking only the water, drinking only water for the next 5 days and taking bath morning, afternoon, and evening, performing Agnihotra sacrifice.
So he want to leave his body. That's why he did that, Prabhuji.
Yes.
And what about Gandhari Mataji, Prabhuji?
So whenever Dhritarashtra body getting burns, at the time, Gandhari, she also enters into the same fire. Here, see, while observing her husband, Gandhari will burn in the fire of mystic power along with his thatched cottage. His chaste wife will enter the fire with rapt attention. Gandhari enters into the Dhritarashtra's the fire as well.
Like Sati.
Yes.
Okay. Then later, Bidur. Bidur and Dhritarashtra not dying same time, same place. He went later. Yeah, Prabhuji. He died before. Later.
Yeah. So Vidura, after witnessing the Dhritarashtra and Gandhari dies, I mean they're sacrificing their bodies. After that, he leave that place of sacred pilgrimage, and then he come to that one. So here it mentions here in the next chapter about the Viduras.
I'm thinking about Bidura, and Bidura took Dhritarashtra and Gandhari for Varnashram forest, and they went. Then they maybe they died together, or they fire in jungle. I think about that project. That's why
It is not accident, but it is not accident. It is Dhritarashtra's
he planning to die, yeah, probably.
Yes. He wanted to leave his body by through the yoga process.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji.
And Gandhari gate itself is revelation, isn't it? Like because of his husband.
Yes. So for women, there is no specific, just only follow the husband path. That is the highest thing. She will attain the liberation.
You are saying this Vidura, where you exactly Prabhas? Where exactly in Prabhas?
Okay, so just I will show that part. This is the disappearance. Let me. Dhritarashtra quits home, and then after the disappearance of Lord Krishna, I think here Vidura is 14th chapter, and then Vidura. So here, Vidura, while on pilgrimage, left his body at Prabhasa because he was absorbed in thought of Krishna. He was received by the denizens of Pitruloka planet, where he returned to his original post. So this statement is mentioned here.
Same place where Krishna has lived the material world. Okay.
Yes, so here he was mentioning he was absorbed in thought of Krishna. Viduropi parityajya prabhase deham atmanaha. So Krishna veshena tachittaha pitribihi swakshayam yayo. Swakshayam yayo. So Krishna aveshena, being observed in thought of Krishna, because by the time he understood that Krishna has already departed to his abode, and then Where he has departed? Prabhasa Kshetra. So Vidura also Parityajya, he left his body Prabhase at Prabhasa Tirtha, in the place of pilgrimage at Prabhasa. Deham Atmanaha, he has left his body. So in the purport, Prabhupada is giving any explanations that, of course, in the translation itself is giving information to us.
Okay.
But here purport is what is his previous birth, and then the Pitraloka people, they have received him very nicely like that. It is further. Okay, that is about other thing. But here, Vidura, he has left his body at Prabhasa Kshetra, where Krishna has departed. That's why he is in the absorbed in thought of Krishna. Gauringi Mataji.
Yeah, I also heard like saying go in in jungle like with us, and they have taken. Yeah, today good to know.
Yeah, this is the Srimad Bhagavatam. But I don't know what versions, maybe in a different Puranas, if it is mentioned differently. I do
Yeah,
not.
because I heard same thing as Gaurangi Mataji was from somewhere.
Yeah, Srimad Bhagavatam gives the essential points only, bullet points. Mahabharat may be having some details about it, but we don't know.
Yes, Prabhuji, Mahabharat had like that. They went later. They Dhritarashtra and Gandhari went to forest for like they want to left his body there. Then that time had accident, like forest is born. So that time they are died. Then Yudhishthir Maharaj is got very sad. I heard, or I forgot that I read that, Prabhuji, from Mahabharat book.
Same thing I heard somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think, but all those things, anyway, somewhere or other, Dhritarashtra died in the fire. That is true. And here, Dhritarashtra also got liberated. From the Bhagavatam perspective, he got liberated. That is true. Gandhari also got liberated. And so, but the story may be expanding in a few pages there in the Mahabharata. But here, Narad Muni says that it is by the Ashtanga process, because he engaged in the Ashtanga Yoga process and he was burned in the fire. That Narad Muni says to Yudhishthira. And then Yudhishthira was pacified with that. But here I do not see how Dhritarashtra dies in the Mahabharata. So here, what we see here in this Mahabharata, here in the Veda base, it is just only deliverance part, and then where until Mahaprasthana it is there, and Pandavas retire. And Vidura's instructions to Dhritarashtra is here, but what is here? Gandhara also Bhima.
And Prabhuji, what about the Kunti Maharani? She died before 5 Pandavas went to going to heaven. They are that time they have all of gone. So that time, before that or after, Prabhuji, I didn't hear that. Kunti
I
Maharani.
heard I heard as soon as he heard about that Krishna left his body, left the material world. He straight once he heard the news, he just passed away. He left left her body as well. Is that right?
So
As
here,
soon as he had heard, yeah.
so here it is again little bit of information from Mahabharata is here. and the next, whenever Yudhishthira goes to the Dhritarashtra's palace, he could not see Dhritarashtra, Gandhari, and Vidra. They have left.
And
So
then
I think at that time, this is Narada Muni speaks.
Yes, Prabhuji, I remember now. Vidura took the Dhritarashtra, Gandhari, and Kunti. Vidura take.
Yes,
Yeah, they gone the three off, but Kunti also going with
them.
them. Yeah, I heard that, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Thus I remember.
Let me just show that one, Mataji. So here, I think. So Dhritarashtra felt his attachment and fear give way to detachments. He made up his mind to leave the forest, and then he was, and then later what has arranged. So they have arranged a day to leave to the forest and to perform these sacrifices, and without telling everyone, but they are going on themselves. So it had been months since Vidura had delivered his instructions. So it has been months since Vidura had delivered his instructions to Dhritarashtra, and then neither of them had been seen since. Dhritarashtra had left instructions that he did not want to be disturbed, being attended only by Sanjay and one or two other intimate servants. So when they were feeling like that on one particular day, the brothers entered the Dhritarashtra's chamber, and then seeing this, Yudhishthira could understand that Dhritarashtra had left, and then he could also Gandhari. Dhritarashtra had gone without telling him, filled with the sorrow, and Pandava king considered that only be due to his own offenses. This is again a devotee's perspective, but Sanjaya gradually. What about Kunti? Where is Kunti here? Yes, so Kunti and Maharani also followed behind Vidura. That is what I have heard, but I do not see the Kunti Maharani's past tense here. Let me just try to search.
I heard that as soon as he heard the news, he just
So
because
here, yes, as the Pandavas made their way back to their palace, they met Vyasadeva. He told them that Kunti had also gone with Dhritarashtra. The brothers were moved by grief to hear the news, but it was not a surprise. For a long time, their mother had withdrawn herself from the world. Since she had prayed to Krishna that day he had left for Dwaraka, she had been spending her days in meditation and prayer. She had eaten frugally, finally coming to the point where she took her food once every 30 days. Now she was gone, thinking again of Narada's instructions and all of the wisdom they had heard from the other rishis. They controlled their minds. Their mother had acted rightly. It was always the accepted custom to leave for the forest without announcement. After all, death never made announcements when it arrived. So, Kunti Maharani had also gone with Dhritarashtra. It confirms Gauringi Mataji's statement is right and Meena Mataji's statement.
Okay, Prabhuji.
he went with the Dhritarashtra, but he was just thinking of the Krishna all the time, like that, isn't it? Something like that.
So, this Vyasadeva
Mm.
said to Pandavas.
So who has written this Mahabharata?
Vyasadeva.
No, here, like, yeah, I know. So it's the same like Mahabharata. What Vyasadeva is written was like sometime, there's some Maharaj or somebody can read again. It's not like that.
I think I don't know. I think maybe one of our Maharajas might have.
Because Ramayana, your Guru Maharaj has written this Ramayana.
Yes.
This is it from the Valmiki
Yes.
Ramayana. So, okay.
So this is Mahabharata retold by Krishna Dharma as it is.
But not like from Prabhupada himself. It's only has
No,
written
that is
Bhagavad Gita and the Bhagavatam, isn't it? From Prabhupada, purport and all this.
yes. So yeah, they have read the devotees of Krishna in our Krishna consciousness. They have gone through Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and within that angle, they have uh, translated this Mahabharata into this one, and we are able to read all these things.
When Prabhupada was present at the time this was done, this
No,
Mahabharata.
no, it is recent one.
This is recent one.
Yes.
Only this Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam all canto was when Prabhupada was present in and that was done.
Yes. And even that Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, Prabhupada has translated maybe around 30, I don't remember exact number. Only few chapters only he translated. I think Prabhupada book, something like that.
But like Krishna book is full of canto 10, isn't it? No?
Uh, Krishna book is not completely done by Prabhupada. It is, sorry. Krishna book is done, but here in this one, Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, it is Prabhupada has done only the 10th canto. How many chapters he did it? Until 13 chapters. See, you see here, Prabhupada books. It is as it is version of Prabhupada. And after that, there are no.
So how many chapters are there?
In the Srimad 10th canto, around 90, 95, more than 90 chapters.
But like in the Krishna book cover everything, isn't it?
Yes,
Often.
yes. Prabhupada did it, that one, everything. Based on that one, Prabhupada's disciples like Pradyumna and then Hayagriva, those Prabhujis, they have completed the rest of the 10th canto and then 11th and 12th cantos. So this is the 10th canto, 13th chapter, then verses he Prabhupada did personally until 64 shlokas. Anything else? Garinge Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah, I got. I'll answer Prabhuji then. I don't have a question now. Later, if I remember, then I'll ask you, Prabhuji. Then, Mataji, Meena Mataji, Hemlata Mataji told me 27th April is she going to arrange program. Then Prabhuji also coming there. Now, you do that, Mataji?
Yeah, it is happening her house. Yeah, I'll be there.
Then she didn't do. Next day, she going to do program or not, Mataji?
That I think they will discuss first and then,
Okay.
yeah, they will share their
Okay. Yeah.
they want to do
Yeah,
it.
I will talk
Yeah.
to her.
Yeah. Yesterday or day before yesterday, Mataji called me. Then she told me that we have going to program, Mataji. Prabhuji also coming. So happy, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. We are again get together. So nice that one, Prabhuji and Mataji.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
it will be nice to work out.
Yeah, meeting devotees is really all auspicious.
So you will stay for Monday as well for here London.
Um, It is not. It is according to the devotee,
Okay.
how devotees plan it. I will try to make arrangements from my end.
Okay. Okay, let's speak to Mataji. Yes, okay.
Yeah, sure, Mataji.
It's a long time to not seen devotees other now. Nobody did program.
Yes, Mataji. It was at a year. It's been a year.
Yeah, 1 year. Yeah. You came in like last time Easter time, isn't it?
Yes, last time. Around, yeah, yesterday time.
Mm. So you come regularly London, like for your work related?
No, Mataji.
Okay.
It is not regular.
Mhm.
Okay, so anything the devotees you wanted to add, or we shall conclude and continue with further japa? Okay, so we shall conclude and continue with further japa.
Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Thank you, Prabhuji, for nice class.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you
Yes.
for wonderful explanation about Mahabharata. Yeah, thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Okay,
Krishna.
Hari Bol, Prabhu. Hari
Okay,
Bol.
Hari Bol.
Bol.
Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Yeah, have a nice journey and like I know you only still
See
you
how
are just
Prabhu
10
have
days.
time.
But,
Yes.
yeah, we'll miss
Prabhu is
you.
visiting the town, Prabhu, or just with the family?
With family, Mataji.
Okay.
Easter holiday, yeah.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, I'm going to holiday, yeah, Prabhuji? India.
I'm just, yes, Mataji.
Okay.
Going to see my family, my mother. So that is what, it's been long time. It's been around 3 years nearly.
Ah, okay. Nice.
Which part for Prabhuji in India?
Tirupati, Mataji.
Tirupati. So, you going to before program, yeah, Prabhuji?
Yes.
Okay, so we get maybe Tirupati Balaji Prasad as well. Prabhuji, bring
Yeah,
that.
sure. Yeah, sure, Mataji. Yeah.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Mm,
Okay.
okay.
Okay, we shall conclude. Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya cha
Eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo
Naive Namo Nama Ananta Koti
Samvrinda ki jai. Ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद